All right, welcome to another episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey, co-host today, and we have a very special guest coming at you. She's a public figure. She's head of knowledge at followupboss, and she's 2021 Inman's ambassador. We have Stacey on the show. Welcome to Real Estate vs. Technology.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me.
Of course. So to give some context to the viewers and listeners, we were just at an amazing event. Connor actually was on Real Estate vs. Tech before. We also had Dan Clarker also on with followupboss on the show before as well. And I was like, oh my God, we got to get you on. So thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure. Yeah, it was a great event. I really enjoyed that mastermind. It was super fun.
Yeah, he did a great job. Connor and Neil and anyone who's watching right now and doesn't know about it, go and check us out. Follow us on our social media. Check out Stacey, check out her social media, and go and check out some of the event because there's some really cool videos out there right now Envision Media is doing some great videos. I'm putting out some great videos. I saw you're putting out some great content. So it was a lot of fun.
Content, baby. We all have to, we can't get enough of it, right? In perspective, getting unique voices, hearing, that's the thing about content is that we could all be talking about the same thing. But when you hear it from a different person's point of view, there's something different you can get away from it. You can take away from it. So that's what I love. I think that there should never, ever be one voice. There's many voices and, listen to them, soak it up, and then just bring together what works for you.
I love that. That's so true. And it's all about perception. Everyone the way someone says something is so true can be completely perceived different from someone else. It reminds me of the round robin. When one person tells one person that story and the story comes back to you, it's like, hold on, I didn't even say that.
Yeah, like the tin can and the string back in the olden days. Yeah.
Yep, I remember that too. That's awesome. So today's show is going to be all about you and followupboss and kind of how you came to be connected with followupboss, what you kind of do there. So starting the show off, we want to learn a little bit more about how long have you been with followupboss? What exactly do you do there? And you guys are virtual, right? So you're working from home?
Yeah. So followupboss is a virtual company, which is fantastic because we have a global team that works with us. And so super great internal team that's got that, unique mindset of how to create that work-life balance and being really focused on developing the best possible product that you can possibly have out there, which is fantastic. As I was actually just putting together some documentation, and we do have the upcoming Inman event, and of the main stage speakers that are up there for the elite group this year, more than 40% of those people are active followupboss users, which is a true testament to just the strength of this brand. So I'm honored to be a part of the team. I joined followupboss in July, actually. I came over to the team.
Nice.
And I didn't even know I was looking to make a move. I was very happy with where I was. However, it just kind of goes to show you when there's a company that has a really strong core company culture and is really just creating a strong, what I call magnet effect. You can attract and bring people into that group without even necessarily trying, which is interesting because the brand itself has been mostly grown through referral. Truly. I was literally just having conversations with the executives in the company. The sales side of it is more of a newer side because all of the growth, the 10,000 plus users, most of that's been referral based, which is awesome. And now your internal growth of your company and your team, also referral based. So definitely a strong power in organic growth that way.
I love that. And it's amazing too, like what you could do when you have a amazing offer and you have amazing staff and amazing individuals behind that service or offer. I know you guys are an amazing CRM system. For anyone that doesn't know, definitely check out followupboss.com. There'll be a link down below. And I could just tell with the company culture that you have, it sounds like you guys are all amazing individuals. And I was privileged to meet two of y'all at the meetup, what we were at just 2 weeks ago, which was amazing. And give me some context. What's like the best part about working at Follow Boss?
I honestly, I think it's the fact that the company is truly virtual because, when we talk about last year, when it came to COVID, companies had to learn how to pivot and be virtual. But when you're talking about a company that has existed from the get-go that way, they've really dialed it in. And so the workflows, the synchronicity, I mean, just building culture, both. There's so many different things that they do really, really well from an internal standpoint. And that really translates into how they ramp up and build the product for the user. So those kind of things matter to me. I'm a big, I love community and I love team playing. And so anytime I can feel like I'm being a part of something like that, it really excites me. And that's how I came to the company. And so my role at Follow Up Boss is head of knowledge, which is funny because I always chuckle about the title. I said, wow, you're really giving me a title that just sets me up for something, doesn't it? So it is not that I know everything because I can guarantee you I do not. However, what I am doing is I am cultivating all of the years experience I have in the real estate industry and bringing that voice, that intuitive side of the real estate industry into our brand. So, because it's important, when you have a technology product and you have programmers creating a product, you want to make sure that everybody on the inside is seeing it through the eyes of the consumer that you're serving. And so I'm coming in as that person who's helping to make sure that the language of the product, the services that we provide, that they're all really in liaison with what our client, the real estate professional, needs and wants. So that's what I'm doing over there.
That's awesome. And good for you, because I feel like that's, if anyone out there who's listening that, doesn't already use Follow Up Boss, I think that's so crucial, because at the end of the day, you're in the front end, right? You're in the front end, you're in the trenches, you're meeting with the clients, you're meeting with the customers, you're going through the product. And it makes such a big difference, I feel like, when individuals create a service or create a service or product that actually understands from the end user or consumer standpoint, like what works, what doesn't work, what needs to be fixed. Because I know on the back end, we're talking coders and you're talking script, you're talking about building things out and connecting things. And in Zapier, sometimes I can go way over people's head. It's just like, I need a simple, like, how does it work? Like, how is it going to help my bottom line? And just give to me short and sweet. And that's kind of what I want to segue into about Follow Up Boss and like what you guys do and what you specifically do. So like, give us some case studies. Like, what have you seen now being in the front end of this server, the product, and of the CRM system with Follow Up Boss and that system? Like, what has been some of the case studies? What's been some of the actual success stories that you've heard from some of your clients?
Oh, I mean, if you take a look, if you go over to followupboss.com, I mean, some of the top producing teams across the country, in fact, beyond in Canada as well, use the platform. And, basically, if you are a growing team and you have your lead sources coming from various different places, and you need to have a really strong way to be able to manage, assign, track, and just nurture these leads, that's how our system is designed. It's designed to really empower. And then the fact that it's open API, right? So no matter, as the industry continues to evolve, it will always evolve, right? There's always new products, new toys, shiny tricks. You'll be able to, having an open API allows you to have those integrations. A lot of times you'll have people who migrate over because they have a frustration with, I took all this time to set myself up and my team up in this system here. And then we started to use XYZ platform here. And we really liked what that was doing for our business plan, but then it did not integrate with our CRM. So we had to make a choice, ditch this or get out. So that right there, I think, has been one of the biggest pieces of success as far as all of those big producing teams that can have the opportunity to just, customize your business model in a way that makes sense for you. And you can stay up to date with technology versus, feeling like you're kind of stuck in a rut.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's awesome. I love the fact that you guys are always innovating, changing, always being ahead. From my experience, I heard Follow Boss is one of the easiest platforms to be able to get into, to be able to use. It's very user friendly. It's very intuitive. So for our viewers and listeners out there, if someone wanted to get started and get going, like what does it look like on average to kind of get into the system, set up the system, import all of your contacts and data into the system so you could start to actually use the CRM system you guys offer?
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, it would really depend upon which level you're at. Like if you are a solo agent and you were just needing to kind of, transition yourself from, okay, I've been using regular email and I need to dial in and how I do this. We have our Grow product, which will less than 30 minutes. You can get yourself all set up and ready to go.
Wow.
If you are on a larger team and you're in either a pro or a platform account, our much larger teams have an assigned customer success manager that helps them with what their goals are and helps them to kind of set those up and figure out how to create the best success for the team and, create those setups in a way that are customized to that team. So those take a little bit longer, but that's because it's a much bigger team, but you have the benefit of having a dedicated success team to help you have the best possible outcome. So it's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. I love that you have that back office support. So if it's a single agent, 30 minutes in and out, done, set up. And if it's a larger team, then you have that support. And does the price differ for that? So if it's like a team listening to right now, the show, or just a single agent, like give us some context there.
Yeah. There's 3 different price points depending on where you're at. And if you go over to the website, you can just click on price and you'll give you the breakdown of the different options, all very user-friendly and priced accordingly to what you're, getting into. Awesome. And the nice thing about it is we create content just like you and I started off talking about content. Our team is constantly creating content as far as how to make sure you're getting the latest, strategies, tactics, how to do this, like how do I make my leads from here, work over here? How am I going to connect this with my Facebook? Like any question that you can think of, we are creating content around it. And we love micro content, right? We love creating small things that make it quick and easy so that if you have a question, if you search it really quick, you can find a real quick tutorial, which is one of the things I think people love. We also have a Facebook community for our users where you can go in and brainstorm with other users. And sometimes that's a fun place for people to hang out and kind of grow together.
Wow. That's awesome. I love having that community feel so that way individuals can come together and have that to be able to talk about the system, the tools that you guys have to offer. So that's really cool. It sounds like definitely any viewers and listeners out there might want to check out Follow Up Boss. Highly recommend. And so kind of we're like midway through, wanted to, I've already changed up the camera angle behind the scenes. And so it's just focused on you for kind of like our mix up round here. I think the last question I have from me before I ask you 2 fun questions and then kind of last couple of questions before we actually close out the show is that, is there any challenges? I know every business kind of faces a challenge. Is there anything that you guys have seen that you either like a challenge you've overcome or a challenge you have right now that you're working on finding a solution? Is there anything that comes up for you guys?
Well, are you asking like a challenge for me personally within my role or like a challenge as far as the company as a whole?
So let's do both. So challenge as a company as a whole, and then we can ask you about your challenges as well.
Well, I mean, at the company as a whole, I mean, I think that, the challenges typically would be just to make sure you're always, hearing the request of the consumer that you serve, right? And so, what can the challenge be there? You can get a lot of feedback from a lot of different places. And so I think the challenge then is how do you filter through all of the different pieces of feedback and find a way to prioritize and deliver so that the end result meets the most potential needs versus, it's hard because you would want to do every single thing because ultimately you want to please everybody on your platform. You want them to be happy, right? But from a scalability, you have to, your product team has a big job. They have a very big job to filter through and figure out, how to make the best use of that. And so I think that's an ongoing process. And I think any technology and across any vertical would have a very similar response in that respect. You're always listening. But what I do appreciate is that when you are a user, you can actually go directly on the dashboard and leave your feedback and input, which is fantastic because we just so you guys know, we do review those on an ongoing basis. Like we literally go in and read those and add those to our weekly conversations. So I feel like if you feel like you're not heard at a company, we are definitely listening. So
I love that. That's what Real Estate vs. Tech's all about, because we want to be able to dive into, the details, the behind the scenes, the things that maybe like individuals out there that use Follow Up Boss don't always get to hear, hence why we had Dan on and now we have you on. So the challenges from the company side to your side, are they similar on your side as well? Just getting a lot of feedback from a lot of different clients and customers of y'all's and trying to like kind of decipher, or is it anything different for you?
Yeah, I think if I was thinking about what would be a challenge, I think a challenge within a role when you're working across many different departments, both internally and then with the forward facing with the user, you're going to have a lot of different styles of communication and a lot of different styles of how people are addressing a certain need. So it's always a fun challenge, and I love rising to challenges, but it's always a fun challenge to figure out, okay, it's sort of like in sales, know your audience, who am I talking to today, and how do they communicate, and how should I best position my wants and my needs in a way that it will resonate and I'll be heard and not be off-putting to the person that's listening. So, that's an ongoing, I think, growth process for all of us. And I think it's a great case of human study as well. So
I love that. It's like, how do you connect, right? At the end of the day, we all want to connect with one another, and from virtual connection to like in-person connection, and always just making sure that we're showing up in the world like we want to be showing up. So we can also receive that back. I love that. So before we end up this mix-up round, a couple just fun questions. Do you have any interest in cars? And if you did, what would be one of your favorite cars or a dream car?
So this is like where I'm going to be like your failed guest. I drive a Prius. Okay. Not only do I drive a Prius, I drive a Prius C, because I'm all about like that, sustainability and great gas. So if I had a car, like I think I would honestly, if I could just ride a bike or walk everywhere, that would be my dream transportation. I love it. Keep it green, living in the greater LA area where everything is just so crazy. So sorry to all my car people that are watching that, are going to probably say, Aston Martin and Lamborghini. I just could give zero bleeps about it.
Hey, I love it. You and my wife both. I definitely understand. And I definitely agree. I mean, with all the electric cars that are coming out now, there's also like the Tesla Model Plaid that is great because it's eco and it's electric. But then it also, for enthusiasts out there, it's the fastest car in production. So you have best of both worlds. So here's one for you. Another cool, fun question, which I think that might be a little bit more up your alley. What is your most favorite vacation destination that you've gone to or you haven't gone to?
Yeah. Well, that's easy for me. My dream had always been to go to France. Stacey Soleil, hello, a little French action there. And I finally went to Paris a couple years ago, and it was amazing. And I'm making plans to go back and visit again. For anybody, like, it's one of those cities where honestly, you could go and buy a Metro pass and just get on the Metro and just stop off at different places. And literally everywhere you go, even if you paid for nothing, let's say you had $0 in your pocket to go and do experiences, but just walking around the streets, there's so much rich culture, history, statues. It's insane how much you can take in. So I was just geeking out over that and loved it. So
okay, I've never been, so I'm gonna take note for myself on that one. And that is absolutely amazing. Any friends, family there, or you just wanted to go and you just made it happen?
I actually went with a friend, and I have friends there now that I made while I was visiting. So definitely, yes.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Wait.
You should busting out some of the language. I love it. That is so cool. So we have a couple last questions before we open up the floor to you. And then, so last couple questions is, So data results. So like, say for instance, someone gets into the system, like say, like what are some like results, data, some things that can help agents, like when they start using the tool and they use it religiously, what are some things to look out for that can help their bottom line?
Yeah, so one of the things that followupboss has is a pixel that you can actually embed in on your system, which gives you some of the best data to really back up everything that you're doing so that you can really have those informed decisions and really, take a peek. I think most of our users that are taking advantage of the pixel are just blown away with just how much better the data is compared to pixels you have on other sites. So definitely check that out.
I love that. I love that. So good old cookie tracking. So for viewers and listeners out there that don't know what that is, the Facebook pixel, look into it. That's a good one. And they also have another pixel for Google, but it tracks your IP and where you're going and what's happening. So that's really cool that you guys use that. Is there anything new that you guys are working on right now that maybe a little sneak peek of something that maybe you're working on that we can view?
Well, we're always working on lots of things. And I want to be really mindful because I want to make sure I don't get anything out of alignment with the product roadmap. But we definitely have a lot of things are on the path to lift off here. So
I love it.
Tying in the liftoff action.
I love it. No point intended. So last question I have from my side before we go ahead and bring it back to you and open up the floor to you is that technology. So real estate versus tech, you had traditional ways that real estate professionals would market themselves. And now you have tech, and you're talking about like this pixel and how you can track and what have you. In your opinion, do you feel like the real estate industry will be disrupted because of technology?
Well, I mean, when you say disrupted, I mean, to me, disruptive is not necessarily a bad thing. Disruptive can be something that can be empowering and impactful.
I love that.
And if you think about it, the industry has already been disrupted by technology, and it will continue to be disrupted by technology, right? But I see disruptive as a positive word. I see that as the people that are going to succeed and are going to prosper are embracing technology and figuring out how can I partner my brand? How can I empower my client to get the best possible results by making sure I'm integrating and utilizing the best technology that has disrupted the industry in a way that will make that transaction that much more robust, that much more profitable for the user. So, I mean, yes, I think it will continue to evolve, which is disruptive in and of itself. Though I think that real estate agents will be replaced. No, I don't. And the reason why is because real estate is one of the most personal, emotional decisions that people will make. It's one of the biggest purchases, one of the biggest sales, and you need to help you through that process. I mean, how many times have you just done something purely online with absolutely no human interaction? You go nuts. And we're talking about something that is huge. That's a massive part of your financial portfolio. You want to have somebody to trust and go to. So I think that, we're not going to see a replacement of real estate agents, but we're going to see a necessity for real estate agents that are empowered and strong and are implementing all of the disruptive tools that exist out there. Or else the consumer is smart and they're going to say, yeah, well, I'm not going to work with somebody that doesn't get it. So it's really important to get it. It's important to stay on top of it. And that's why attending events such as the one that you're hosting that give great information and really strengthen your business model are really, really impactful. And super grateful for folks like you that, understand that and are always finding ways to provide the latest pieces of information that are going to make a real estate professional that much stronger.
Wow. I absolutely love that. And that was what I was alluding to. Do you feel like the real estate professional will be replaced? And I love how you said, no, it's going to empower them. It's going to support them. And if they implement the tools, the technologies, and what we saw at the event we went to, the meetup, it just talked about, it was a whole video conference for anyone who's tuning in. And it was all about that. Just how are you applying yourself? How are you using video? How are you taking long form video and making it so it's short like type micro content type videos, which is awesome. I love that. So I really appreciate that answer. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on you. And we're now at the show, a part of the show where we want to go ahead and just ask, what would you like our viewers and listeners to take from today's podcast episode from you?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that, if you're watching the show and maybe you're part of a team that's starting to grow, or maybe you are a successful agent that's thinking about growing your team. One of the most important things to consider is how you're going to manage that process and what kind of tools you're going to use to help you to empower the team that you're with. And Follow Up Boss truly is one of the best possible tools that you can add to that growing tool belt. And if you have questions about it, feel free to ping me. We have an amazing internal staff that I can definitely get you, connected to the right person depending on where you're at in your business. And I really appreciate the opportunity to shine a light on such an awesome brand.
Wow, that was awesome. Yeah, all the links below. Check out Stacey. I also have her Instagram up behind me as well. And it's always nice when we know someone from within the company that we can relate with and like and trust and be able to reach out to. And I saw that you're doing some amazing things. So kudos to you for the event that you saw us all the Women Up. I love that.
Yeah. So, I'm involved with lots of different parts of our industry. Well, the thing is I think you and I were talking about this prior to the show starting. I'm passionate about community. I'm passionate about our community, the real estate community. And because there are so many different parts that are doing really great things, like with Women Up, they're focused on how to empower, create more and more female leadership within the real estate community. Wow. And I'm 100% in support of that as a female who has climbed my way through my career. And I just want to continue to empower and support other women and the men that also support those women. And and that is obviously, connecting with folks like yourself. I love people that are thinking about how to implement masterminds. I'm a huge fan of masterminds. I think that it's real intimate and is a great way to kind of dig in really deep. So, I write for Inman News. I write for The Close. I try very, very hard to identify where it is the most important places for there to be kind of have my ear to the ground and give back so that I'm not missing a beat when it comes to what's most important in our industry. So keeps me busy for sure.
That's amazing. Well, this was an amazing episode, Stacey. I really appreciate your time. I love how you are building community. You're serving this industry. You're doing different things with Inman. You're at Follow Up Boss. So thanks so much for coming in and showing up and showing out on Real Estate vs. Tech. I really do appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
And thanks to all of our viewers and listeners that tuned in for today's episode, as it is our intention for you to take some of our episodes to apply to your business, have more massive success. And we will see you on the next one. And made it to the end. Well, thank you so much for watching Real Estate vs. Technology. We hope you found value, especially something you can apply to your real estate business. If you could do us a favor, we would appreciate it. A thumbs up. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified for new episodes coming out, and comment below. What the heck did you learn? If you want to join our Facebook group page, there's a link right here. And if you want to be featured on Real Estate vs. Technology, send us a DM on our Instagram page. We'll see if we get you on the show. So take care. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.